Our guys were good tonight. It's 4 of our last 5 opponents we've held under 100 points, and so defensively our guys are doing a nice job. They're trying to do, what our rules are. They're trying to stay connected, trying to play off of one another, and when that happens, good things happen for our team. We were 10 for 10 with 50-50 balls tonight. So we got after it in that area. Offensively, one of the things that we talked about at halftime, we had 9 assists. We went through a little spurt in that first half where we took some tough shots. The ball wasn't really moving, especially after it hit the paint. And then in the second half, our guys came out. They tried to touch the paint. They tried to move the basketball. And we generated 19 assists just in that second half alone. So that was good to see. A lot of really good performances from a lot of guys. OG obviously had a big game for us on both ends of the floor. Josh was big for us. Cat, this is Cat's second for sure consecutive game where he had 20-plus rebounds. And, to me, that's what great players do. They impact the game in a lot of different ways. And for him to have 22, I think, against Toronto and 20 tonight, a double-double, it was huge because 6 of those were offensive rebounds, and we beat them 20-9, and they're a very, very, very good offensive rebounding team. But we beat them 20-9 in second chance points and held them to 8 offensive rebounds. So great job by our group throughout the course of the game. And then Mikal, he was our defensive player of the game. It could have easily gone to a couple other people, but Mikal was very good for us on that end of the floor with his deflections and coming up with, I think, two or three 50-50 balls on his own.
Coach, can you talk about the job defensively you did on Denny? Came in averaging roughly 26, had 11 tonight, 4 for 14.
Yeah, we just try to throw a lot of different bodies at him. And one thing we keep telling our guys, it's not one guy that's responsible for stopping another guy, because that doesn't happen in the NBA. You got to be connected defensively, and it's basically 5 guys have to be on a string. And when that ball moves, everybody should move. And 5 guys, if 5 guys guard the basketball, like I'm saying, you'll usually get pretty good results.
Coach, your team has now won 5 straight. How do you like your team's mindset and approach during this stretch?
Our guys have been good. We went through a little bit of adversity in terms of our wins and losses, and our guys just kind of stayed with it. And we kept trying to help them as best we could. Those guys stayed with it. They stayed together, and this is a veteran group that has been through a lot, and they figured out what they needed to do to play at a high level, and they're going out and they're showing it.
Mike, I know you guys just are coming off the back-to-back, but before that you had 2 days in a game and then 2 days off in a game. Are you seeing is that benefiting you guys? Are you seeing that on the floor with your group now?
Well, for sure. To be able to spend some time in the gym where you're not worried about playing a game has benefited us a ton. We've made, like I said, we've made some changes on both ends of the floor, and the more time we have to continue working on them, the better we'll be at the end of the day.
Like you talked about the ups and downs that you knew were going to come during the season. During this 5-game stretch, are you seeing things beyond the scores that give you encouragement that this is they're reaching that next level?
Yeah, and it starts defensively, and like I said, the way the guys are on a string, that is at a pretty high level. You got to be connected on that end of the floor. Obviously, you got to be connected all the time, offensively, defensively, off the floor, but especially defensively, because good catch, very good, because shots aren't going to go in all the time, and you got to be able to hang your hat on something if shots aren't going in. And for us to be able to rebound like we're rebounding a la Cat and defend like we're defending, coming up with 50-50 balls like we are, I got to take my hat off to everybody on this roster.
Mike, you've been around a bunch of different teams leading up to the trade deadline, and they can affect them positively or negatively. They can go into a a bunk or whatever. Do you pay attention to that stuff? Do you see sort of maybe a renewed focus just because there's so much noise surrounding your team for whatever reason? Do you even pay attention to that, or is it all correlation?
No, I mean, we understand that we have no control over the noise out there, and so, we have to have a bunker mentality, not just during the trade deadline, but all the time, because there is a lot of noise out there. But we're all human, and you try not to listen to it. You just try to stay together, and you keep moving forward, trying to get better as the days go along, and I think that's what this group is trying to do.
Mike, when we talk about Jaylen, and obviously for good reason, we spend a lot of time on the offensive side of the ball. But from my vantage point, you correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like defensively there's just been another intensity he's had. I remember in the Toronto game early, like blowing up screens, getting through stuff. What have you seen from him and just his contributions to how this team is defended as he played as well?
No, you're 100% correct. I mean, Jaylen's a good defender, and obviously a lot of people sleep on that, and I don't know why they have for years. But he's competitive, he's feisty, he's strong. He did. There was a clip that we used from the Toronto game. We like to make sure we 1-2 into the ball with a little physicality while leading with your chest, not with your hands, and getting over the screen as the ball comes over the screen. And if there was a definition on how to defend the ball in an on-ball in a pick-and-roll situation when you're on the ball, like I said, that play would have been it, because he step slide, used his chest, and because he did that, quickly pushed off, and he picked up an offensive foul. So he's been impressed. He's been impressive, leading with his chest, showing his hands, and trying to play defense the right way with a little chip on his shoulder. And so it's not just him; it's all of our guys that have done that. But it's good to see him doing it, especially with the scoring load that we put on him on the other end of the floor.
Mike, just looking ahead this Sunday, could be LeBron's potentially last game at the Garden. Just what stands out with your time that you work with?
He's got to be, if he's not the smartest guy that I've been around in terms of feel and all that stuff, he's definitely top three. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable human being. I mean, he's done a lot in the community. He's done a lot for the NBA, and he's earned the right to play as long as he wants, and he's definitely doing it. And he's doing it at a high level.